They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but what they don't tell you is that it's also paved with yeses. Yes to the boss who piles on more than you can carry. Yes to the friend who takes but never gives. Yes to the lover who crosses lines again and again. And yes, to the silence that grows in the pit of your stomach when your boundaries are breached. In this world, we are conditioned to comply, taught to equate kindness with submission, to be agreeable, cooperative, pleasant, even as it gnaws at us from the inside. We nod, we smile, we oblige. And somewhere between obligation and obedience, we vanish. But what if I told you that your salvation lies in a single word, a word so simple and yet so feared, a word sharpened by time and used quietly, ruthlessly by the powerful? No, it is not just a refusal, it is a weapon, a wall, a mirror, and in the hands of a Machiavellian, it becomes art. This is the dark psychology of saying no, not to be cruel, not to be cold, but to survive. The Machiavellian doesn't say no out of impulse or emotion. They say it with purpose, with timing, with calculation, because to say yes to everyone is to say no to yourself. Tonight, I will guide you through a shadowed corridor of control, strategy, and silence. We will peel back the polite mask and reveal what lies beneath, a mind that says no, not to reject, but to rule. Are you ready to stop being devoured by the demands of others? Are you ready to master the art of saying no without guilt, without fear? Then step into the dark with me and learn what they never wanted you to know, because once you understand the game, you'll never play it the same way again. Before you can wield the word no with precision, you must first understand the mind of the one who wields it like a dagger. Niccolo Machiavelli was not a monster. He was a mirror, reflecting the world as it is, not as it should be. To some, he is cold, ruthless, calculating, but to those who listen closely, he is honest. The Machiavellian mindset is not built on cruelty, but on clarity. It sees the world as a series of negotiations. Every interaction is a transaction. Every favor, a future debt. Every yes, a currency. To live Machiavellian is to live with intent. It is to prioritize outcomes over opinions, power over popularity, survival over sympathy. And so, when the Machiavellian says no, it is never accidental, it is not impulsive, it is not emotional, it is deliberate. Because in the Machiavellian world, emotion is a tool, not a compass. Let's explore 3 of the core principles that shape this mindset, and how each one sharpens the no. Bix. Self-interest as a compass. To say no effectively, you must first know what you're protecting, your time, your energy, your mission. The Machiavellian asks, does this request serve my purpose? If the answer is no, then the answer must be no. Power dynamics. Saying no is not just an act of refusal, it is an act of dominance. Each time you decline, you communicate control. You declare, I am not easily moved. The world respects gravity. A person who floats with every breeze is forgotten, but one who stands still becomes a landmark. Strategic deception. Machiavelli never advocated honesty for its own sake. He understood. Sometimes a gentle lie spares you a brutal truth. No does not always need to be spoken aloud. It can be cloaked in ambiguity, wrapped in delay, hidden in polite deflection. This is not about manipulation for pleasure. It is about boundary for preservation. You are not here to be liked. You are here to endure. So ask yourself, when was the last time you said yes and regretted it? And what if next time you said no instead? With purpose, without guilt, and with a Machiavellian calm. That is the power of seeing the game for what it truly is. Now that you understand the mind behind the strategy, it's time to recognize the battlefield. Let's descend deeper into the triggers that demand a strategic refusal. Not all traps are made of metal. Some are made of smiles, of favors, of familiar voices whispering just this once. The most dangerous chains are the ones you voluntarily clasp around your own wrists. To say no with strength, you must first know what weakens you. Because the battlefield of refusal is not always out there, it's in here, inside your own instincts, your own fears, your own need to please. Let's bring these shadows into the light. Because once you name your trigger, you take away its power. Trigger 1, the time thief. You only have so many hours, but some requests, small at first, begin to bleed you dry. They seem harmless. A meeting, a favor, a quick call, a "can I just ask you something?" But each yes is a withdrawal from your time account. And if you never audit that account, you will wake up bankrupt. Ask yourself, am I saying yes to avoid conflict, or because this truly aligns with my purpose? Time is a currency Machiavellians guard, ruthlessly. Trigger 2, the guilt manipulator. They lean in with soft eyes and trembling voices. I really need you. They tell you what you've done for them before, remind you of your role, your responsibility, your duty, and beneath that guilt is a subtle threat. If you say no, you are not who I thought you were. Sound cue, a knife, sliding across porcelain, not cutting, just close. This is weaponized guilt. The Machiavellian does not respond with emotion. They respond with clarity. Who benefits from this guilt, and at what cost to me? Trigger 3, the fear of rejection. This is perhaps the oldest fear, the primal terror of being cast out, unliked, unloved, alone. Saying no sometimes means disappointing others. But what most never realize is this: every yes that betrays yourself is a quiet rejection of your own soul. Machiavellians are not fearless. They simply know that fear cannot drive the carriage. It rides in the back, silent. Trigger 4, the consequence mirage. What if they get angry? What if they never ask again? What if they retaliate? These are the ghosts that haunt the mind before a refusal. And like all ghosts, they're rarely as dangerous as they appear. A well-crafted no is not a door slammed in fury. It is a curtain drawn with precision. So pause, look at the next request that comes your way. Then ask yourself, am I being asked, or am I being cornered? The Machiavellian knows the difference, and more importantly, they know which voice to silence. You now understand your triggers. You know the traps. Now, let's learn how to escape them. Let's master the actual techniques, the blade in your hand. Saying no is not a rejection. It's a redirection away from chaos and back to yourself. But not all no's are created equal. Some slam like a door in a storm. Others slide like silk over steel. The Machiavellian prefers the latter, because power lies not just in what you say, but in how you say it. Let us now forge your strategy. 4 techniques, 4 weapons. Each one designed to help you say no without burning bridges, unless you choose to. Technique 1, disarming honesty. The most dangerous lies are wrapped in partial truths. But the Machiavellian knows. Sometimes, brutal honesty is the most unexpected and effective weapon. Example, I'd love to help, but I have other priorities right now. I cannot compromise. This isn't an apology. It's a declaration of boundaries. Clear, calm, final. Use this when your reputation can withstand bluntness and when strength in values is more persuasive than sugar-coated avoidance. Technique 2, the strategic delay. Sometimes, you don't need to say no now. You just need to not say yes. Time can be your ally. Buy it. Example, let me check my schedule and get back to you. In that space, people often solve their own problems. In your silence, they hear their own. Need more loudly than your refusal. Delay can drain urgency. And when urgency fades, so does pressure. Technique 3. The subtle redirect. Offer them something else. A path that veers from your sacrifice. Example. I can't help you move this weekend, but I know someone who might be free. This keeps your reputation intact. You're still helpful, just not the one being bled dry. This is the art of controlled generosity. Never empty your cup for someone unwilling to refill it. Technique 4. The ambiguous exit. When directness could spark retaliation, ambiguity becomes armor. Example. I'm not sure I'm the right fit for this, but I wish you the best with it. It sounds polite, even kind, but it's final. And more importantly, it gives them nothing to push against. Ambiguity confuses the manipulator. It robs them of their next move. And remember, you owe no one an explanation that costs you peace. Not your time, not your loyalty, not even your friendships, if it demands your silence in return. The Machiavellian does not burn bridges impulsively, but they are not afraid to light the match when the bridge leads only to self-sacrifice. Now, you hold the blade, you've studied the craft, but what happens when you use it? Let's enter the final stage. Let's witness the power of the strategic no. Something strange happens when you start saying no. The world shifts. Some people vanish. Others begin to respect you. But most importantly, you change. No longer the marionette, no longer the sponge soaking up everyone else's needs. You become deliberate. And in a world drunk on instant access, nothing is more terrifying or powerful than someone who cannot be manipulated. Let's look at what happens when the no is not just a reaction, but a weapon of strategy. Story 1. The time reclaimer. Elena was the yes girl, always helping, always available, until burnout came like a black tide, and she found herself resenting every obligation she once agreed to. Then she learned the Machiavellian no. She cut half her meetings, stopped replying to vague, quick chats, told her boss, I'm no longer available for projects that don't align with my goals. They called her difficult. Then they called her promoted. When you stop giving your time to everyone, you start giving your value to the right people. Story 2. The guilt breaker. Marcus's family lived off guilt. They'd ask for money, favors, weekends, and when he hesitated, they'd say, after all we've done for you. He felt like a child in a man's body. Until he stopped explaining. He simply said, I can't help this time, and nothing more. The silence afterward was unbearable, but it taught him who loved him conditionally, and who only loved him for what he gave. Strategic no reveals true loyalty and strips the masks from the manipulators. Story 3. The power broker in politics. Saying yes to everyone is suicide. Nina learned that the hard way. Every favor promised became a rope tightening around her influence. So she turned Machiavellian, refused alliances that cost too much, denied meetings that bore no fruit, said no with grace and steel. They feared her, they admired her, they called her ruthless. She called it survival. Sometimes to lead, you must refuse the path that others walk, even if they call you cold, especially if they call you cold. Final reflection. You were not born to be a servant to others' comfort. Your time is not disposable. Your peace is not negotiable. Your goals are not optional. And yet, each time you say yes when you want to say no, you betray those truths. The Machiavellian does not say no out of cruelty, but out of clarity. They know that every yes is a contract, a deal, a transaction. So they weigh every request. Not by emotion, but by consequence. That is not cruelty, that is discipline, and discipline is freedom. So the next time you're asked to bend, to sacrifice, to abandon yourself in the name of politeness, pause. Remember this: a well-placed no is not the end of kindness, but the beginning of power. Say no, strategically, relentlessly, without guilt. See you in the next video.